shift, it's a longer story, I won't get into it, is in Brazil, because that has so many of its own sort of pieces of corruption and scandals and government overthrows and so forth. But one of the people who's currently running for the presidency of Brazil is a man named Henrique Mariales. I pronounced it Moraes because for some reason my Portuguese is very bad. I was corrected last night actually in Berkeley about my pronunciation of his name. But he was someone who was head of the Central Bank of Brazil when this all started, when the crisis all started happening. And he and the president of Brazil at the time, Lula, who's now in jail, was at first saying Brazil's not going to be impacted by the crisis, same way Mexico said it wasn't going to be until they were very shortly thereafter. And he wanted to do what the US was doing. The party in power, who became in power, the Workers' Party, headed by a woman named Dilma Rousseff, said, no, we want to maintain help for Brazil. He says we want to do what the US, so he doesn't get appointed to be the central bank leader. He goes back into the private sector. He winds up being the Minister of Finance when her government was overthrown. And so he's basically gone from being a central banker to private sector to being a Minister of Finance, and now he's running for president. In the meantime, Brazil, during that period, and this is just where politics meets monetary policy, has basically reduced its rates from, this is a completely separate graph, this doesn't count on that graph. They've reduced their rates from 14.5% to 6.5% in a very short period of time. Mexico has raised its rates from 3.5% to 7.5% in the last few years as well. So they've gone independent of the Fed. They've gone sort of dependent on the Fed. And that really manifests into political relationships. If you're an investor, it actually also manifests into figuring out why this has happened, because it's very unique that actually Mexico has higher rates than Brazil. So there's a lot of shakeout as well from a monetary policy perspective, where government bonds are trading, where stocks are trading.